Hey everyone, I'm here today taking a look at the Jurassic World Indominus Rex from Mattel's Hammond collection line. I'll go over the articulation quickly, won't bother showing you the packaging because it's the same as all the Hammond collection dinosaurs, so you know what it looks like. I always find the packaging kind of boring anyway. But you know, the arms go out to the side, elbow articulation moves around and outwards, wrists go around and there's a bit of a swivel on them. So they'll bend inwards, quite tight on the wrists, but they will bend inwards and outwards. Get two sets of hands with this, which I'll show you in a minute. Legs have a bit of a pivot outwards like that. Knees swivel round, that kind of double ankles at the bottom there that bend and swivel around. Tail is rubbery with a wire going along it. Tail is all one piece, but you know, there's a good wire in there. I think it's, well, it might not be a wire actually, it might be where they have the different plastic connector pieces, but either way, the tail is rubbery but articulated. You have to plug the tail in when you get it. Then there's a double neck joint, kind of where it connects to the shoulders and where it connects to the base of the skull there. So you get a really nice range of motion out of that. It's very fluid. It's not loose. Like if I shake it around, it doesn't wobble. So it's not loose, but it feels very fluid. It's kind of a nice level of tightness. And then of course the mouth opens and closes. And it's that double jointed jaw where the top part and the bottom part of the head and the jaw are both articulated to open it up wide. The tongue has a little bit of articulation there as well. So, I mean, it's pretty much the standard for these size dinosaurs in the Hammond collection, but still, I wanted to show you it there. And it also has some battle damage like the old Kenner dinosaurs had, where you can pop this bit of skin here out and there's the flesh underneath. And this is actually from a scene in the movie where the Indominus pulls out its tracking chip, and you can see the chip there is sculpted in that bit of flesh that comes off. That's quite a fun little action feature, considering these aren't really known for having action features like that in the Hammond collection, because it's more about the detail and the articulation. Here's a little close-up look at that bit of flesh that comes out, and the tracking chip where there's kind of a green at the bottom there. For a light, I'll have to watch the movie tonight, but I'm guessing that's accurate to the film. I can't remember now if there's like a little green flashing light on that tracking chip. But yeah, I think this is quite a fun accessory actually. And I guess it makes me nostalgic for the old Kenner dinosaurs. It does stand out a bit. I mean, you can see that there's obviously a separate piece there with the outline around it. But the notch that you use to pop it off is one of the spikes coming out of the back. So they've blended that in nicely. One thing that I think is a shame is that this doesn't have the glass eyes. They seem to have phased that out now on the Hammond collection. And I know on the smaller dinosaurs the glass eyes were a bit hit and miss, but on these larger ones they always looked good, I think. Except for the T-Rex, but the T-Rex was the first one they did. But with the Giga and the Spino, I thought that looked great, the glass eyes. I actually think it's a real shame they don't have that anymore. And on the recent Battle Cat from the Master of the Universe Chronicles line, the glass eye actually follows you, like the pupil in the eye follows you around as if it's looking at you. So I thought it'd be awesome if they actually incorporated that into the Hammond collection. It's very grey looking. Now, sometimes it can be hard on screen to really see the details and the colours properly. I guess I'm going more from the previous toys we've had of the Indominus Rex in the main line, but I'm kind of used to him just looking a bit lighter and whiter and brighter. This looks very grey and a bit on the dull side, but that might be accurate to how it is in the movie, I guess. But I actually prefer the lighter looking ones like we've had in toy form. But I think it's a really nice sculpt in general. I mean, it looks great. And you see the darker shading around the eye and on the back of the neck. Some different shading and that. Got all the quills and the spikes sticking out as well. There was quite a bit of criticism of this when it was first revealed online. But for the most part, to be honest, I thought it looked fine, and I still think it looks really good. Those little nails aren't painted on the feet, which always bugs me a little bit when it comes to the Hammond collection. You'd think they would just paint those as well. But otherwise, there is quite a lot of paint detail with all the shading, like a lot of darker grey going along the back, but then lighter white when it comes to the back of the thighs there, going underneath. You can see going down the underside of the body there, it's lighter as well. I do like all these quills that you get on the Indominus, like on the underside of the arm there, and all going along the back. Comes with 2 sets of hands. You've got one set like this one here, which is more open, and then one set like this one here, which is a bit more closed and gripping. And with that, you can actually have it hold some of the figures, either from the Hammond collection or from the mainline, because they're the same scale. So I like that it can hold a human figure if you want to, but you've also got the 2 open hands. And there are the spare hands. So you can kind of see better there, probably the slight difference in them. It's mainly that top finger that's inwards more on one and outwards on the other. I mean, I'd have been happy if he just came with one of each hand and didn't have the extras, but, you know, it's nice for those who would want it to you know, have that option, really, if they want to swap them round. But for me personally, I like him to have one open hand and one gripping hand. And here's the mouth and the teeth. And I think it was the lower jaw and the teeth on the lower jaw that kind of bothered some people. I thought it didn't quite look right. Here's the kind of regular release Indominus, just to compare the 2. I don't know, in person I don't really have a problem with it. They don't look massively different from the mainline release in the way the teeth are on that. You see how the paint wash really brings out the detail on the Hammond collection version compared to the mainline one. But I am a big fan of that mainline one though, and I do like how much brighter it is. So whether it's accurate to the movie or not, I just think it looks better when it's whiter. The Hammond collection one is bigger, which is better. I felt like that last mainline one, that camouflage version, was a bit too small. That was my only real problem with that one. Otherwise I thought it was a great Indominus. So there you can see how much bigger this Hammond collection one is, which is better. I think the Indominus should be pretty big. But I do love the light up and the sound effects on the mainline one. You can get the mouth open pretty wide on the new one too. I'm just not as keen on it being a bit dull and grey like it is. And here he is with the other big bads from the Jurassic World franchise, all the big carnivores, the Spinosaurus, the Giganotosaurus, which are both great. Though I do find that the articulation on this Indominus just works better, like in the tail, it's a lot smoother and easier to bend. Like the articulation down the tails of the Giga and the Spino are a bit tight, and it does feel a little bit limited when you're bending it. The tail on this Indominus bends so much easier. And I think that might be because the rubbery plastic is a bit thinner on the tail, so it's not kind of fighting against the articulation, whereas on the Spino and the Giga, because the plastic, the rubbery plastic on the tail is a bit thicker, it sort of restricts it a little bit. And as I say, with the neck as well, it's really smooth and fluid, but not loose. And of course, we've got to compare the T-Rex as well, even though I think this T-Rex really does not hold up now. I kind of liked it at the time when it came out. I always felt there was something off about it, but I think because we didn't have any better, I kind of fooled myself into liking that T-Rex more than I actually did. But as soon as we got the Giganotosaurus, I felt like that T-Rex was outdated and needed to be updated with its lanky legs and its massive feet. But now, 2 years later, we still haven't had an updated T-Rex. It actually really frustrated me that Mattel just slightly retooled that T-Rex for the Lost World buck, when that would have been the perfect opportunity to give us an updated T-Rex that's the same standard and quality as the Giga, the Spino, and now the Indominus. I guess next year we'll get the Distortus Rex, because it was about 2 years after Dominion that we got the Giga. So it kind of makes sense if, I have to go through development and stuff. It would take 2 years after Rebirth to get the Distortus Rex, unless they decide to give us an updated T-Rex next year. But I'm guessing next year we'll get the Distortus. That seems to be the next one on the list when it comes to these big carnivores from the movies. I don't even feel like that T-Rex looks right when I have him posed with these. I prefer to just have these three together. I kind of feel like I'm missing something here, because there seems to be a lot of dissatisfaction about this online, and yet other than it being a bit too dull and grey colour-wise, I think this is really nice. I really like this. The jaw and the teeth look kind of fine to me. I don't have a problem with them. They don't look any better or worse really than the mainline Indominus. I'm really happy with this personally. So I'm really interested to see what you guys think about this. If you don't like it, let me know why in the comments. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you again soon, where I'm going to be reviewing the Dilophosaurus next, and then a few days after that, the Scorpius Rex.